Is RLC even worth it anymore? Today we're going to be taking a look at RLC, Pop Race, and Kaido House and comparing the three brands to give us a better food for thought and see which ones are the best value for your dollar. I would like to start out by saying that this video is not meant to be a hate video on Hot Wheels or RLC. RLC began in 2002, and without RLC we might not see all these other brands. Basically, RLC and Hot Wheels walked so all these other brands could come in and run. And there are still some very exciting RLC models. For example, the Porsche Targa, which a lot of people had a hard time getting. We will talk about that a bit later in this video too. The Porsche Targa, the Shelby Cobra. For me, I'm looking forward to the Demon 170 and Panther Pink. That's a good one too. But when we look at all these other brands, the big question is, like, why pay more just because it says Hot Wheels when you could get something for cheaper that looks arguably better? When you look at these three Hakosuka Skylines, if you didn't know any better, which one would you think is the most expensive by looking at the level of detail? And I'll pull them up on the camera for you. There's the Hot Wheels version. Here is the Pop Race version. I love how the hood opens on this one. Very nice wheel choice as well. Nice tail lights. And I'll open this up a little, close this a little bit so you can see the headlights on it. And then, of course, the Kaido House version. Now, personally, obviously, I'm sure most of you know the answer, but if you didn't know any better, I would guess a lot of people would think that this one would be the most expensive based off of the level of detail that you get. But quite frankly, it is not. The Hot Wheels version is the most expensive. These cost right now, RLCs now cost between right around $28 to $38 USD. And in order to get one shipped to Canada, it's about $60 Canadian. So, like, these are about $20 US, and these are between $20 and $22 US. Why would anybody pay more for that cheaper looking details when you could get Kaido House or Pop Race for this? Now, I'm going to show you a few new models. Few of these models from these other brands, as well as some RLCs that I brought out that I really like as well, and I will talk a bit more about this. I want to start out by talking about RLC because it seems like there's a lot of frustration, especially recently with how the Porsche drop was handled, about like whether it's really for collectors or it seems like it's mostly towards scalpers. And sadly, it seems like we're seeing more. It's more bot heavy than ever, especially with the chases. And that's a whole different topic for another day. Honestly, the chase thing I knew was going to be a disaster from the get-go. But I personally, with my experience on the Porsche, I ended up having to wait 21 minutes in line. Some people I heard waited as much as 35 minutes in line just for them to be told it's sold out. And some people I was talking to on Instagram were lucky enough to get it. And kudos to them. So I'm glad they got it, and some of them got lucky to pull chases, so congrats to them. But a lot of people kind of got screwed on this release. And I've noticed with real hyped up releases, they seem to release at 2 per casting, 2 per person, rather than 1 per person. I noticed this with the RWB, and it seems like there's a lot of frustration around, like, about getting these models, these desired models that everybody wants. And that's kind of why this video's here. Although there's some very nice models from RLC, they're a bit overpriced in comparison to what you get with Kaido House. And I think the most recent price increase was very unnecessary. They recently, about a year ago now, they recently increased the price from $2 to $2 from like 25 to 27. We are now seeing up as high as 38 for some of the acrylic releases, like the Lamborghini Miura and the 4GT, which is really starting to get out of hand. I remember when they were 25 a piece, and they were relatively reasonable, but now it just doesn't seem very justified to increase the price of the models, because some of these models are very what's the word I'm looking for? It's more not 100% accurate. Like, for example, on this Charger, it's missing side mirrors, and I know that's a very technical thing, but if Pop Race and Kaido House can maintain roughly the same price point, excluding event models, excluding exclusive models, and we're just looking at base models, and they can maintain having the same price, how come RLC can't? I don't understand why they have to increase the price. Well, Kaido House and Pop Race can hover right around the $20 to $22 mark for each of these. And I know Prelude Boy 99 made a video about the Porsche drop and like how you should shift into Pop Race and Kaido House a little more instead, rather than giving Mattel your money. And I agree with him, and this video is more designed to give you a bit of food for thought. You don't have to switch from RLC, but I'll be honest, I'm starting to kind of see why people are a little frustrated with RLC. It's not worth getting upset over, but it's disappointing to see that this is constantly happening with all these hyped up releases. There's people talking about in comment sections how they were able to get 12. Nobody should be able to get 12 without using bots. So I would say RLC has a huge bot issue, and that's another thing. It seems like it's more exclusivity with RLC rather than availability. And when you could get arguably just as detailed models with Pop Race or Kaido House, like, why would you want to go waste your time and effort to get one of these RLCs, which some of them do look really nice. I really do like this Barracuda and some of the other models they've done. But when you look at Pop Race, look at the paint jobs they got. And on the R33 in particular, that one has mirrors on it. And just look at the engine detail. I would argue that the engine detail on these Pop Race castings, and I'll bring that up for you just so you can see, like, it is incredible. And so is the paint on this R33. It really doesn't do it justice until you see it in person. Absolutely gorgeous casting. But when you can get these models for cheaper, and they arguably look better than half of the RLC lineup, like, why would you want to wait in line when you could go to your nearest, buy one from your nearest hobby dealer, like Top Collectibles or Flippin' Diecast in Canada, or if you're in the US, you could buy from Diecast Z on Whatnot, which all are really great retailers that sell Pop Race and Kaido House for retail. And the thing with these premium brands, not just Pop Race and Kaido House, I just took a look at these two because I thought they were my favorites. There's Inno64 out there, there's Micro Turbo, Tarmac Works, and there's many other new brands every year that seem to be coming out. RLC does not have the competitive advantage that they once had of being that lone premium brand for high detail and high quality models. When you've got brands that are doing it for cheaper, and you don't need to buy a $15 Canadian membership or a $10 US membership just to buy these models, anybody can get these. You just got to buy them from like Diecast Z or buy them anywhere online. You can even buy them on eBay for basically retail. And they're arguably just as detailed, if not in some cases, like this gorgeous Ken Mary, which I think they did a lot better on than they did with the Hakosuka. Look at the engine detail on it. It looks amazing. It's just very well done for cheaper. Like, when Kaido House and Pop Race can give you that kind of detail, it's like, once you go there, I've had a hard time not buying them. They're really nice. And I will take a look at one more for you. And it is this gorgeous Lamborghini Countach. They do this metal flake paint. And I know another argument I probably will get is, oh, well, what about the Spectra Flame paint? And we'll get to that. We'll get to that because I noticed Pop Race has been doing a bit more of a chrome finish on some of their releases. And one of them is, I think, a Tokyo Auto Salon. Either way, I'll have a photo of one of their chrome releases. And with that being said, I will show you the Kaido house that has that Spectra Flame finish. This is the Flow Wagon. And they've been doing this more and more recently with more like event models. But even some of their basic range Kaidos, like this one, the Flow Wagon, they are doing this level of detail with Spectra Flame style paint and the engine detail. And I'll be honest, I do think Kaido House are slightly better than Pop Race. I think Pop Race goes for a much more cleaner look with more diverse castings, whereas Kaido House seems to aim more towards mostly Japanese models that are really nice and more of a Japanese culture behind these models. And RLC seems to aim towards more of like nostalgia with your some fantasy models done in RLC, not as many as they used to, but fantasy and some classics as well. And like on the Skyline, you see Redline wheels on some of those models. But even Kaido House and Pop Race have been expanding into the American scene a little bit, and Kaido House has been doing more European models. Pop Race is doing European models. They've been doing them for quite some time. Here's a Pop Race Mustang. This is a Canada exclusive, but even Pop Race exclusives are like $30 from what I've been seeing. You can get most of these Pop Race exclusives for right around $30 to $35, right around the price of a high-end RLC, and they are arguably just as detailed in some of these cases, if not most of the cases. And here's the Kaido House Silverado. Another really well-detailed model. Not only the opening hood on this one, you got the opening bed on this as well. You can open the trunk, or not the trunk, the bed of the truck. You get what I'm trying to say, but just the wheels are perfect. Like, the colors are really nice. They just do such a great job with these models. But I hope you guys can kind of see why and I'll admit it, I'm probably spinning my tires a little bit and going off track a little bit, but you can sort of see why that I like Kaido House and Pop Race, and I hope this can kind of give you a little more food for thought. Like, geez, there are other alternatives if I miss out on an RLC drop. Like, there's an orange RWB coming later this year, and I'm sure that's going to be a very fast sellout. So instead of getting upset and complaining about missing out on an RLC drop, just pick up a few Kaido House or a few Pop Race, and honestly, I would honestly say arguably just as satisfied, if not more satisfied, with Pop Race and Kaido House, or other brands like Micro Turbo, Inno64, and many other brands. It seems like there's 3 or 4 new brands every year, but some of these Kaidos just have some really cool features. And like, for example, on the Toyota here, if I can get it to pop here, like the headlights go up on that Toyota. You can pop them up and down, and now on my version it seems like they don't want to stay up. No? Okay, that's fine. But the other versions, it seems like they fixed it for the other versions of this casting so far. This is a really well detailed casting. One of my favorite releases to point from Kaido House. It's the AE86. And you just look inside, you got gorgeous interior, you got a nice roll cage. The tail lights are a whole separate piece. And same with some of these Pop Race models. Like, the headlights and taillights are a whole separate piece, not just some like painted silver, like just painted silver, and they don't look as good. But in these cases with Kaido House and Pop Race, when you just put that level of detail in, it just makes the model pop, and it makes the model stand out. And for cheaper, I just don't see how anybody could say I'd rather RLC over Pop Race or Kaido House when you could save yourself a few dollars and get something that's arguably just as, if not more, detailed. I hope this video helped you get a little more food for thought of like spending your money on castings that you want. Obviously, I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do or how to spend your money. If you want to buy RLCs, go for it. Personally, this video was just made to give you a little more food for thought. Maybe you'll like to buy some Kaidos or add some Pop Race to your collection. But it's just more to give food for thought when you do miss out on an RLC drop that you really wanted, or before you buy an expensive convention model, which I know we didn't talk a whole lot about, but that's also up there. The RLC convention models are like $60 resale. Rather than buying one of those, you could buy 2 or 3 pop rays for that same price. But I hope this video helps. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, family, cats, dogs, squirrels, whoever. Please just share the video. Plan on doing more outdoor videos like this as the weather gets nicer. Happy hunting, stay safe, and God bless, and have a great weekend.